96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in a respectful manner, we'll take your plate.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Some news summary of 12. My name is Hansen the representative.
Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life, that's what you see. I live a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life, that's what I live, you know, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Roads, connecting roads and stuff.
Well, folks, good morning, and welcome to the Truth Breakfast Show here on Truth 96.1 FM, the heart and soul of Liberia. This is where national unity begins. Thanks for joining us this morning. Today is Thursday, June 12, 2025. A wet Thursday morning, especially in Painesville. I don't know about Monrovia. I don't know what's happening in Buchanan, Grand Bassa County. I don't know what is happening in Sunny Quillet, Nimba County. Neither do I know what is happening in Banga, Central Liberia, Bon County. The Western Corridor. I don't know also what is happening there when it comes to the weather condition. But I know Painesville is very wet. And I think we've entered day 2 of the rain. In fact, since Tuesday night has been raining. And still this morning is still raining. But now with a very high intensity this morning. Good morning to our wonderful silent listeners who are always following the show in the morning. Sometimes it's like you are the one waking us up in the morning. But yes, we are here to serve our public, serve the country, and do what we are passionate about. This is Marka Davis. I'm here this morning with Johnson Gbarntolmah. This young man goes to Bon County twice a month. I don't know which part of Bon County you go, but I think Fuama and Sanoye people know the young man. Yeah, so folks, thanks for joining. Let's just go strictly to say good morning. Johnson, it's great to be with you this morning. This is my first time sitting on a talk show with you. Is that correct?
Actually, it's true. It's my first debut with you. I just received a call this morning from my boss, Onimra, was I should join you.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad. Usually, I'm here with Asu Salif. So it's a great thing to sit with you. And I think I'm sitting in a big shoe.
Okay.
I'm wearing a big shoe.
10 and a half. 10 and a half.
Yes, so I'm glad. So good morning to our listeners. And we are here driving you straight out to 10 o'clock. And I hope that it will be good.
Yes, we hope for the very best this morning. Just before I can go to look at our social media page, Real TV Online, let me bring the morning motivation by Bobby Blair Addison. Bobby says, forgiveness is nothing but recognizing the reality that what has already happened, and that there is no point in allowing it to dominate the rest of your life. And he says, Mami Do and Zo Pennon, please find forgiveness and common ground in your heart. Thursday, June 12th, morning motivation from Blia Bobby Addison. Thank you so much this morning, Bobby, for bringing us the morning motivation. I think it is great. It is good to forgive, no matter what. Because sometimes if you hold on to certain issues, it's like you imprison your heart. Most of the time, the person you are holding the grudge for, maybe they are not even thinking about you, but you are always hurt with the fact that you have not been able to forgive. So I think it is very important that we forgive. Thank you so much, Bobby, for the morning motivation. Just before we go about to recognize a couple of our followers this morning, we would like to bring you the lineup of what we got this morning for the show. This is the Truth Breakfast Show on Truth 96.1 FM, the heart and soul of Liberia. This is where national unity begins. This is where national unity begins. When you're using two files on me, and it's confusing me this morning. Yeah, that can want to. Yeah, so it's June 12th, 2025. This show is proudly sponsored. Our prime sponsor actually are EcoBank Liberia Limited, the Pan African Bank. What are you waiting for? Go and open your account with EcoBank and do business with the best commercial bank in the country. Orange Liberia, also one of our prime sponsors, is the biggest GSM company in the country. If you don't have a SIM card, go strictly and get yourself an Orange SIM card and do communication with ease. Yes, our co-sponsors, Diamond Mineral Water, the best water in the country, Irish Eye Care, and the La Cosas College of Education. These are organizations and businesses that are here affiliating with Truth FM and the Truth Breakfast Show. Well, in our studio chat this morning, despite the court putting a stay order on the eviction of Charles Masali in Mount Barclay, the victim said the sheriff refused to take a look at the court's order. We'll look at that. Yesterday, we talked about what happened at the residence of Charles Masali. He works at the National Port Authority. There again, we consider Tiawan Gonglo tribute to Dr. Amos Sawyer. We have the eulogy that he wrote. We are going to be reading that on the show this morning. And another key issue we'll look at this morning is the open letter written to President Joseph Boakai by District 7 Nema County Representative Musa Belete, who is also the political leader of the Citizens Movement for Change, CMC. At 8:30 to 9 this morning, we will play host to folks from the Liberia Telecommunications Authority. The LTA is set to champion inclusive policy, making innovative regulation that empowers access, growth, and investment in telecommunications in Liberia. So that is being done under the theme showcasing Liberia's digital future. Appearing live is the LTA acting Commissioner Abdullah Kamara and team. So they will be here this morning to talk about that. At 9:05, we'll bring you sports, entertainment, commercials brought to you by EcoBank Liberia Limited, Orange Liberia, and our co-sponsors Diamond Mineral Waters, Carish Eye Care, and La Cosas College of Education. At 9:15 to 10 o'clock this morning, a team from the Liberia Revenue Authority, people who raising money to support the budget. Yeah, anytime the legislature, pass the budget, when they pass the budget in the amount of, for example, 800 million, the LRA people can cut. Okay, our burden here,
they have to make sure that it is raised.
They have to raise the money. So we'll have the LRA team here this morning. Isaac Stevens, Assistant Commissioner for Tax Services or Taxpayer Services, and Victor Sier, Senior Officer, Real Property Tax Division. They will talk about real property tax payment this morning. In the midst of all, country first. This is the TBS on Truth 96.1 FM.
Yeah. So I know you have said it all. So you didn't talk about David Kuti will come on this morning.
Yes, David Kuti. Oh yes, David Kuti will have to be at least for 4 minutes this morning. Yeah, we have to do this. I don't know whether it was an oversight.
Yeah,
but
that's why you got your co-host.
Yeah, absolutely. We have to take David. So at least for 4 minutes we can do David. David, good morning.
Good morning, Ambassador David, son of the late Baptist Deacon, and good morning to Johnson Gbarntolmah. Well, can I go ahead now?
Go ahead, Chief. How was the night?
Well, the night was good as usual. It's always good with me.
Yeah, you know, you are 72-year-old now. Is that a three score plus what?
Look, my man.
You have completed that, because anytime you call, we gotta be greeting you, because the way you're 72 now, impossible, you know.
Anytime you go.
You cannot be calling my age. In fact, that's not my age. If you want me to tell you what 3 score and 12
and 10,
what 72 is actually 3 score and 12.
Okay, yes. Yeah. So the 3 score is 60 plus 10 is 70 plus the 2 that got added to your own now. God really like you.
You want to embarrass me, but that would not work. This is why Oni cannot come to work this morning. The car broke down.
His car didn't break down. There's a river of water in Cardwell. No way for people to leave their communities.
People are leaving from there coming to work.
But I can give you a fact that there's no one from Cardwell who have gone to work this morning.
People are going to work this morning. I have friends who have gone to work this morning, but Oni can no gas. Car broke down. You can't have an old car. Anyway, the same thing. The road advice you wanted to give me the other day, told me I'm a fine driver. You think I ever to pay $100 or $200 to somebody to drive for me? But my car will be gone a long time.
Now, I know some people that have owned cars 3-4 times, but you still have that car that you've been having almost 13 years ago.
Yeah, 14 years now. Even when I was in the Capitol building, the Jeep that Taylor gave us, the government was paying driver for us, and
if you were the only person who's supposed to back up, but it's not a company which you ever smell. So what kind of customer here? Since 40 years ago, you can't come back to buy again. Yes, but let's go on with the health, David.
Thank you very much. I'm trying to be a little fast because of time. If you are the only one your family is depending on, so for survival, then prevent stroke by doing the following things. Today is the last day for stroke. We may come back to another time, but we have the series for the whole week. Do these following things to prevent stroke. If you don't do so, one day you will leave your house. I'm going to white children. Oh, Papa, when you come and bring this for me or bring that for me, your father will tell you, don't forget about the bag of rice today. You say, oh, I will bring it, honey. Then you go to work. As soon as you enter your office room, you drop. When they go check you, that's stroke. Prevented by doing these things. 1, control your blood pressure always, because blood pressure is the leading cause of stroke. Do something about it. Number 2, exercise. The WHO suggests that we exercise for 150 minutes per week. That is around 10 minutes every day. Do it. I do my 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening. Do it. It's important. And the reason for that is that it improves blood circulation. You know, blood is life. Life is in the blood. Now, blood carries oxygen and nutrients to all organs in the body. Once it's not moving to a particular place, my friend, you have a problem. Like with a man, blood not reaching your penis, you will suffer from erectile dysfunction or impotence. Blood is important. So do exercise so that it can go all over. Number 3, avoid excessive alcohol consumption, because it causes high blood pressure also. You who can drink liquor morning to evening. You don't even eat, you drink, stop. It can cause stroke. It can lead to stroke. Number 4, choose hydration over stimulation first thing in the morning. That means the first thing you do when you wake up, water in your mouth. 1.5 glasses. You can even drink 1 glass, it's okay. Drink 1.5 glasses or even 2 in the morning. But when you drink it, do it sip by sip. Don't do it fast. It will not help you. It can cause trouble for you. And don't drink cold water. So I'm advising you, those of you, especially old people around 60, you wake up and the first thing in your mouth, coffee or tea. Stop. It can lead to stroke. Sometimes you say, I don't know what happened to me. Diet. Number 4, do not skip breakfast, especially if you are 60 and above. Even if there's 2 boiled eggs, 1 apple, 1 cucumber, eat it. You don't have to eat heavy food. Just take a little something, nutrition or something. It will be good for you. Young people can skip breakfast. It's not much of a problem. 20, 30, 40 years old. But once you are 60 years old, don't skip breakfast. Number 5, treat the warning signs of symptoms very, very quickly and seriously. 6, prevent prolonged sitting. All right? Remember this. You know, I'm jumping over something because you give me 4 minutes. Remember this. Brushing your teeth is not a marathon. It's not a running race. No. Brush your teeth for 2 minutes always in the morning. And also for 2 minutes in the evening. You have to brush it up and down inside. Outside. Take your time. Brush it up. You know, I was on television a lot on ELPC showing people how to do it. You gotta take time. It's not a hurry thing. Just jump in the bathroom. You finish. No, they're not marathon. They're not running race. Do not use hard toothbrush because it destroys your gum and your enamel. And when your gum is destroyed, my friend, you have bad breath. And the enamel, that white part of the teeth, you see, that's called the enamel. It's very strong, but it can be eroded little by little with hard toothbrush. So that toothbrush they call smokers, leave it. Do not keep one toothbrush for more than 3 months. Yeah, man. Now the people then leave it, man. Leave it. That means I get 150 cents or 150 LD. You just buy 4. Close your buy 4 for the whole year. Every 3 months you change it. If you don't do that, the bristles will not be effectively effective. That part you use to brush your teeth as a bristle, it will not be strong enough. And the bottom part of the toothbrush, the gem that will be going in, it will just be there, and you keep adding it to you. Brush your tongue properly and use a tongue cleaner. Thank you very much. God willing, I will be back.
But in the meantime, you gotta get out of here.
You gotta get out of here.
With the 3 cows.
I tell you, I don't eat cows and I return. No way. I need your help today. I don't get it. You have the power to help me. Oh man, that's why I don't go to funerals. I'm gonna wait. I don't go to wait. I don't like to see. Some people will hate you when you die. They are there, and they will give all the praise. Oh, this guy was out there. He was like this. I don't like it. I don't go to wake. I don't go to funerals. I'm in need right now. I need your help. I'm sick. I'm hungry. You don't help me. But when I'm dead, then you bring 1 shipload of rice. I call that one there, say a momo, flaka J, or flow show. Get it right to where you brought it from. Thank you, Baba. Have a good day.
That flower you're looking for now. Yes, David Koti with the health tips.
Yeah.
It is a regular feature here. A lot of people are,
Been educated every morning, including us.
Mhm.
Yeah, at times I also monitor him and get some advice for him also. So that's it. So David is one of the things I love about him is that he's always in time or on time and to educate our people. Even though other people they can be criticized, say he's not a medical doctor, but at least he make research enough before he comes home.
Yes, that's good, David. Thank you. The review of the local dailies. Yes, let's go for the review of the local dailies. A couple of our followers will identify or recognize you this morning, but let's do this with the couple of papers we have here. Yes, let's do with the couple of papers we have here this morning. Yes, so let's bring the front page Africa newspaper, the front page of the front page Africa newspaper, the lead story on the front page this morning. It says, what is it? It says, Kofa dismisses arson case, blasts prosecutors' evidence as a hodgepodge of recordings. Well, I'm seeing the police inspector general on one side and former speaker Kofa on the other side. Stay on the front page of the front page Africa newspaper. Declined but still high. What is that? Central report: 83% of Liberians say corruption remains high despite 7% drop. Police, health workers most corrupt. Oh, And an interesting photograph on the front page of the front page Africa here.
Indeed.
I'm seeing the police inspector general, emptying a plastic bag of money.
I think this happened during the burial of
Yeah.
late Nima County Senator, where
Prince Johnson,
where the police IG was en route to Nimba
Yeah.
when he saw the men collecting. And I don't know.
Yes, I mean, it's an interesting photograph on the front page Africa here. So, still on the front page, closing the gender gap. 8 in 10 Liberians urge protection for women and girls from discrimination and harassment and dishonest and deceitful. Who is saying this? Prominent Nimba activist Armstrong Sedepo slams Senator Twyans criticism of Aslamita, where I'm seeing the former Nema County Senator Kennedy Gbarntolmah here on the front page of the front page Africa newspaper. Finally, making strides abroad, Liberian born Jen Collins Coding wins Democratic primary for Maplewood Township Committee is the final story on the front page of the front page Africa. Yes, you want to go for the
the Inquirer news, people.
Mhm.
Okay, the Inquirer is saying Nangwe to exit and that's LNLA amidst deep corruption allegations. So I don't know who's in Nangwe, and they say sitting, and also CSNL rubbish allegations against Mayor John Safa as he recognizes achievements. So that's it.
Yes, so far I think just three of these papers we have, and on the back page of the Inquirer, LERC approves new electricity tariff for Energy City customers in Bapolu. I'm seeing Anthony Clark, Edward Tumit here on the back page of the Inquirer newspaper. Fiscal year 2025 first quarter budget performance hearing begins. And education alike, where I'm seeing a couple of students in uniform on the back page of the Inquirer newspaper. Yes, so that's it. Thanks for following the review of the local dailies. So just before we go straight into our talking points this morning, let's recognize a couple of our followers this morning. We owe them. We owe it to them. Better still. Emmanuel Baxton is following this morning. Says good morning, TBS family. J. Emre Safar is also following. He said watching you guys from residents at R2 community. Henry T. To Junior is also following this morning. He said thanks for the update. He said he's following from Caldwell. Okay, and Maurice Daving is also following this morning from Buchanan Grand Bassa County. Noah C. Elliott, the jobless Unity partisan from Johnsonville, New Israel community is following this morning. The jobless Unity Party partisan. Yeah, think you can be going to say the female general. If female general is president, I know you. Yeah, so Noah is following this morning. Alvin Kenna is also watching live this morning on the TBS. Who is there again? We're seeing Barbara Rose Stanford is following the show this morning. He says from Brooklyn, New York City. This one, Rahim Ellie is also following. He said watching from Rubber Sports GCMC. Well, what is GCMC? I don't know. We also have Joel Chuku Moba also following this morning from Bon County. He said Jocolate District, Bon County is following, and Austin Tapia is also following this morning on the show. Thanks for joining us. Austin from Kakata. Gabriel Smith following the show. He says from New Israel Community, a proud son of Grand Bassa County. Is also following the show. Amadou Kamara, thanks for joining this morning from Grand Cape Mount County as well. A lot of our followers this morning. Emmanuel K. Tupa following from Boston. He said from Tapongwa Avenue in Margibi County. Tapongwa is the former representative of District 1. Yeah. Amos D.S. Babu, former Bon County Senatorial candidate. He's also following this morning. He said thanks so much for the show. And we also have Eddie Fedura Edwins following from Boys Town as well. All the lower Margibi people are following. We also have Nelson Davis is following. No relationship with me, Nelson Davis, watching from Lac in Grand Bassa County. A lot of our followers are from across the country. Rahim, we already recognize Rahim. So yes, so far so good. Thanks to you guys. You can share the show and invite other people to follow this morning. Well, Johnson, this is good.
Very, very good. People they are watching, and Also, the are also part of the TBS every morning, making sure that they give their views, so their views are respected here on the TBS. So I think we have to go to another thing here
Yeah,
this
sure.
morning.
We're going to our talking points
Okay.
this morning, and most importantly, oh, okay. Okay, somebody give me the meaning of that GCMC. Okay, I see. Okay, yeah. So again, yesterday, we brought up this issue concerning Mr. Charles Masali. The demolition exercise in Mount Barclay. Yesterday, I said that I don't know whether there's any way we can find a means, since the law is logic and reasoning. I don't know whether we can find a means where if somebody own maybe a property in large quantity, for example, the 17 acres of land we're talking about, if this person is not around for maybe a decade or 2 or 3, 40 years, the person is not around, somebody is selling the land, well, with some kind of family relations, because nobody who doesn't have any kind of link to that property will sell it, right?
Yeah.
With some kind of family relation, come and sell the property to people establish there, use their sweat and blood to make their properties, and then a court rule say, okay, take possession of the property. Is there any way that we can find a way around this thing, that the court can rule and order that the occupants should rebar?
Rebar, yeah.
You understand? Instead of telling the owner, say, go carry anything you want, go take your land for the people. Because that's the simple way of the court ruling, go and take your land from the people. Because if you say take possession of your property, it means that go and take your land from the people.
Yeah.
So, and you go and break this thing down. But
after they have used their, some of them are very low income people.
Yes.
Developed, some of them just in a lifetime, that's the only building.
Some of them are the market people called Gobacha people. They're in the field every time, going up interior, putting planting, better ball in car, on top of car, bringing it and working in the mud, in the rain, in the sun, and they save their little money, build their place. Then somebody come and break it and say that my land, the court say I'm gonna take my land.
It's so frustrating for them. So
It's a sad
frustrating because like you said, they are marketeers who have worked over the years.
Yeah.
And someone like be hard to build a real decent house. And so going there and breaking it down, their whole efforts about going has gone in vain. It sounds so frustrating for the people.
Yeah, so they have like they will understand that the court has placed a stay order on the Charles Masali residence. Okay, according to report, the court stay order on the eviction of Charles Masali from his residence in Mount Barclay. We understand that the sheriff is overlooking or downplaying the order. Whatever the case is, we're going to call on the sheriff to ensure that they obey what comes from the court. If there's an issue where the police have to investigate that shooting that happened, and the court say because of this issue, do not evict this man, then let the man stay and the investigation is done. Yes. So you can pass over the court's order. So let's go for because of time. Let's go to Councillor Tiawan Gonglo's tribute.
To Dr. Amos Sawyer.
Yes, to Dr. Amos Sawyer this morning, because I think they are celebrating his legacy this week.
Okay.
Yes, as part of celebrating his legacy, we will go to this ride out done by Councillor Gonglo this morning on the show. Evans Onu now will be using two files on me, so it's giving me a little problem this morning. If you give one, you give one. So this is the write out. It says eulogy to Professor Dr. Amos Claudius Sawyer, a good man, a republication as part of this week's celebration of the life of Dr. Amos Claudius Sawyer by Tiawanse Gonglo, former executive assistant to the president of the interim government of National Unity Republic of Liberia. So it says, where do I begin from in my effort to eulogize a man so good in many ways that one cannot enumerate in a few minutes? Do I begin with what I have read and heard about him, or with just what I know? He's asking questions. I will begin with what I know and my own feelings about the life that he lived. But even as narrow as the scope of my eulogy appears, it will still does not make it easy for me. Just talking about Professor Amos C. Sawyer as a teacher who takes several volumes of books for a man who taught social science 201 from the early 1970s to 1984, a course that was required for all students of the University of Liberia. If I choose to speak about Professor Sawyer as a thinker who would not reject or accept any idea from anyone, but would choose to explore every idea with its prominent proponent until a conclusion acceptable to him and the proponent is reached, it will take a book of at least 1,000 pages. If I decide to limit myself to Professor Sawyer as a humanitarian, it will take the whole day to narrate how much he made other people's problems his own and spent more time solving them than his own. It would not make it any easier for me to limit myself to Professor Sawyer as a friendly man whose friendship had no border. His infectious smile on his first meeting with anyone was the beginning of a lifelong friendship. I cannot even take asylum in speaking only about how deep a family man he was, because I can say without any fear of contradiction that all members of his natural and adopted families will tell you that he devoted himself to each of them, including his wife, his siblings, children, nephews, nieces, and grandchildren, as though he had no other family member or no other obligation in his life. I cannot find a soft landing by limiting myself to his political career, either because each of them, beginning with choosing not to join the True Week Party after returning from school with a PhD at the age of 27, and instead deciding with Dr. Toba Tipote and Dew Mason to establish the Movement for Justice in Africa, Moja, or a mayoral candidate for the 1979 mayoral election for the city of Monrovia, or his political activities in exile in the United States for constitutional democracy in Liberia, or his role as the first interim president in Liberian history, or his political life after serving as interim president, is unique in its importance to Liberian history. Certainly, there is no shortcut to doing justice to the man of man Professor Dr. Amos Claudius Sawyer was in Liberian history. I can also say Sawyer was a good man and wise man. Let me remind everyone about a few of the attributes of Professor Sawyer. He was an excellent listener. When speaking to him, he would look you straight in the eye. Therefore, his responses were always straight to the point. Sawyer was a very respectful person who dealt with every Liberian equally, irrespective of their educational, social, religious, or economic status. I'm sure Martha Nangwe from New Town and Foke Harris from Buchanan can bear testimony to this. Working with him as executive assistant, I saw him moving from behind his desk to hawk and sit with his kindergarten teacher from Greenville, Santa County, and giving her Liberian $10,000 without her asking, when the rate was $6 Liberian to $1 US. He was very practical about the vital needs of people and was always prepared to help. At the University of Liberia, he paid the school fees of many students from the rural areas and from poor families in Monrovia by signing deferred payment forms for them, thereby allowing the University of Liberia to make deductions from his salary every semester, sometimes receiving less than $100 for several months of the year. With Dr. Tipote and Dew Mason dismissed by the Toba government, the financial burden of the young progressives in Moja and the Student Unification Party fell on the shoulders of Dr. Sawyer alone until Dr. H. Boyman Famula Jr. joined the faculty of the University of Liberia and began to assist and mentor young Moja comrades along with Dr. Sawyer. This responsibility increased during the military government when most leaders of Moja went into exile and he was the only leader on the ground. He took on the responsibilities of seeking the welfare of family members of exiled progressives, including paying their rents, helping them with food, school fees, hospital bills, and helping to bury their dead family members, thereby becoming the visual head of so many families. Although the life of Professor Sawyer was at risk, he helped others to escape from both the Doe and Taylor regimes. He was forced into exile on the Doe when he was arbitrarily detained on a false charge that he planned to overthrow his regime, followed by the arson attack on his home in Cowell. During the regime of Charles Taylor, he was again forced into exile when a group of armed men associated with Taylor regime attacked the offices of the Center for Democratic Empowerment and severely beat him, Communist Wise, and other staff members. His commitment to the building of a peaceful democratic Liberia prevented him from living out of Liberia when it was obvious that living in Liberia was dangerous for him. Sawyer was not a Liberian politician who wanted power or to maintain it at all costs. Here is one example. While in Freetown in May November 1990 and planning to come to Liberia, General Joshua Dongo Yaro, the second force commander of Ecomog, suggested to him at the Cape Syria Hotel 3 ways through which he could come to Liberia. He said, Mr. President, I could take you to Liberia by flying you in a helicopter or by a boat or by road by putting one battalion of Ecomog soldiers on each side of the road from the Liberian border to Monrovia, backed by war tanks and jet bombers. Then he said to Dr. Sawyer, Mr. President, I prefer to take you by road because it will show to Mr. Taylor the strength that you have. Dr. Sawyer then asked, General, what will be the cost of going by road in terms of human lives? General Dongoyaro then responded, Mr. President, in a military operation, it is the objective that matters. Dr. Sawyer immediately told the general, I prefer to go to Monrovia by helicopter. He did not want any Liberian to die just for him to be installed as interim president. Dongoyaro died at the age of 80 in May 2021. Another example of his preference for saving life. Yes, so this is how far. Yes, this is how far we can come with this. This was rating by Councillor Tiawan Gonglo in a tribute to the legacy of Dr. Amos Claudius Sawyer, former president of the intern government of National Unity Republic of Liberia.
Yeah, he worked with the late professor, so he knows more about him, and that's just how he can put it. So the Sawyer was actually a scholar. You can imagine coming back into the country, young man, 27 years old.
with a doctorate degree.
It was not easy.
Yeah.
So appointed by the Liberian political and civil society groups under the interim government of National Unity. So he did his part. And I think they named one of the departments at the University of Liberia is honored that Emma Sawyer College. Yeah. It's at the University of Liberia. So that's it.
Yes, that's it. But again, we included in our discussion this morning the political leader of the CMC and also representative of District 7 Nema County, Romusa Belete, wrote an open letter to His Excellency President Joseph Boakai Sr. And this is the letter. He said, Mr. President, let me begin by acknowledging that the events leading to the commencement of the trial of our federal lawmakers accused in the alleged arson at the Capitol have been stormy, disturbing, and marked by abuse of power, violations of individual rights, and the denial of institutional respect due to government officials and a former Speaker of the House. Yet, despite the trauma, here we are, finally at a point where the case will now be heard on its merits, in full view of the public, through what we hope will be a free, fair, and transparent trial. This is a step in the right direction. The pursuit of justice must never be selective, and the truth of what transpired during the 7 months of legislative conflict must be uncovered. However, Mr. President, let us not pretend that this is the only fire that has engulfed the people's house. The alleged arson may cost this country $1 or $2 million to repair, but what of the millions, perhaps hundreds of millions, lost through abuse and misappropriation within the legislature itself? He asked. For months, while this investigation was pursued, the national budget was misused. Funds meant for development were repurposed for political expediency. Millions of dollars under the 2024 budget were diverted, far more than the damage from the fire. Yet no similar urgency has been shown in investigating that crime. We support a full and fair trial, and if any of our colleagues are found guilty of arson, they must face the full weight of the law. We equally affirm their right to pursue redress through civil litigation if they are unjustly targeted. But justice, Mr. President, must not be one-eyed. If your administration seeks the truth about one crime, it must not ignore the other. We have, Jesus, yeah, sorry, I sleep small. Yes, we have, where am I? Okay, we have tried to bring a motion for the audit of the House of Representatives. We have failed. We've raised it multiple times. We failed. Clearly, the legislature would never muster the courage to audit itself, but you, Mr. President, are empowered under the law. The revised act establishing a General Auditing Commission gives you the authority to mandate the audit of any public institution, including the legislature. This is your constitutional and moral responsibility, and this is your moment. If you truly believe in accountability, if your government is committed to ending corruption and abuse, then let it begin at the very heart of our democracy. Order a comprehensive audit of the House of Representatives and the Senate, particularly from 2011 to present. Let the people see how their money has been used, misused, and abused. This should be your legacy, Mr. President, not just the prosecution of a few alleged arsonists, but the bold decision to clean the system from within. Yes, it is, or it will hurt. Yes, it may expose allies and discomfort friends, but Liberia deserves it. Our people deserve it. History will honor you not for your silence, but for your courage. We cannot continue to beg the world for aid while squandering our own resources through unchecked legislative corruption. Our international partners will never truly respect us until we show that we respect ourselves. This is your chance to restore the bleeding dignity of the people's house. Do it for the homeless mothers, the out-of-school child, the hungry elder, the countless citizens watching a trial while their government refuses to account for far greater crimes. If you prosecute lawmakers over a 2 million fire, but turn a blind eye to the systemic theft of public funds within the legislature, then you confirm the fears that this trial is political. Then it will appear not as justice, but as vengeance. You have the authority. You have the responsibility. Now summon the courage. Audit the House, audit the legislature. History is watching. Musa Hassan, Representative, District 7, Nema County. Yes, this is the
open letter
to the president.
Yeah.
But I think it's strong and powerful.
It's powerful, and I love the objectivity in it. He's saying that don't just not because there was an alleged arson attack on the house, so you try to audit a few group of people who are allegedly involved. But I think he said he has or they have written the president or written leadership to audit public institutions.
Yes, he's been making this call since he entered the legislature.
Yeah,
and we are hoping that, I mean, I don't know how long we will be hoping, but he's been making this call and not an audit has been commissioned.
I don't know even if that will
even the speaker, even the speaker at the times talk about audit.
Yeah.
And you remember when the conflict in the legislature started, or some were saying that
it was because in call for the auditing of the house.
Yeah, some said because Kofa wants to audit the house, that's why they are removing him, and others, and even the current speaker then said, we'll clean the legislature, we'll transform the legislature, we'll audit the house and all of that. At one point in time, we even heard the Senate pro tempore of the Liberian Senate talking about audit of the Senate as well. But these things are not happening. You know, when you get one big society bush, and I say legislature as society bush, I'm giving example now.
Yeah.
When you get one big society bush, where all the things can be happening there, then you say, oh, this society bush, they're just breaking and opening every time people be passing through. You think that's true?
Not true.
Because
all the leadership of that
I'm not saying that's not happening, but that's just a kind of thing to compare.
Yeah. And I think what's happening is that whenever there is an audit of the house, plenty people hands will be caught in the cookies jar.
Absolutely.
So each time it is proffered on the floor, they will just discuss it that kind of way. And I don't really think it will be approved by member of the house.
Yes. So we're expecting the LTA people. I don't know how far they are. Cooper Sangar can check out there. If they are there, they can come in. So
I think they should be in by now. I think by
so
8:30. It's 8:34.
It's 8:34 already.
So we are.
So while we are expecting them, we'll be taking few calls. But before we do that, I want to send a word of caution to the Liberian public, to the media. Yes, I must do this.
Okay.
To the media.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the case, you know, when police is investigating, maybe we can be talking, but when case go to court now, we're supposed to leave it. Okay, we're supposed to leave it. Yesterday, I listened to many shows, people talking about how prosecution said the only evidence they have against the alleged perpetrator of the arson at the House of Representatives, and that Facebook and this and that. So a case that is in court, as a trained journalist, a case that is in court, you sit down on a platform. So you are prejudicing the case yourself. You're undermining the trial. You don't do that. Once a matter has entered court, the Liberian people should only listen to the court to go to carry out litigation and rule on the matter. But for journalists to sit down on air and be talking, oh, they say the evidence the government say they have against that Facebook. What kind of irresponsible broadcast is that? I don't intend to talk to my colleagues that way, but I mean, you know that when a case is in court, you're not supposed to be discussing it. Why are you doing this doing it with this one? So you know, people buy sympathy on other people's behalf. The law is the law. You listen to the right out that Honorable Benedict just did, right?
Yeah.
He put it out clearly that we are all hoping for fair trial. Now the only thing we're supposed to be saying, fair trial, transparent, fair trial. That's what we should be talking about. Instead of coming here to be bar-moving government lawyers and be saying all kind of negative things, you are prejudicing the case. You're not supposed. You are undermining the case. Let's stop talking about the case. Send the police, the political part about it. Oh, when the arrest was done, it was a public discussion. Okay, when police were doing an investigation, people were making inputs, yes. But now the case has gone to court, and we say when case go to court, we want not talk about it. So why are you talking about it all kind of way now? So you leave the case that the judge, the people who draw that indictment, that jury trial or bench trial, they will go through the trial. The government, the evidence the government say they have against the people, they will bring it, and then the people will counter the evidence. Then the court will decide it finish. Y'all stop putting your mouth inside. I'm not political party business again. Okay? All we can talk about is fair, free and fair trial. That the rights of the defendants be protected. Let them be given the opportunity to defend themselves in this process, and let the court be fair with the case. That's all we can say. Yes.
Yeah.
So let's take a few calls. We are expecting the LTA people to come. But the way time going like this now, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. So 0770202579, 0770202579,
and 0775136874. So we just got this.
Yeah. So while we are trying to take the call, this information is important. So one injured A Dewey, a student of African Dream Academy, is reported missing. She left her house after the climax of WAS exam Tuesday, June 10, and is yet to be seen. She's a resident of Louis Brown Community Rehab along the RRA Highway. Uh, the parents can be reached on this number 0770-039-446 or 0777-580-591. That is still 0779-432456. 0770-039-446, 0777-580-591, and 0779-432456. The name is Inja A Dewey. Yes, I think this is it. If I'm not pronouncing it, yeah, that's the name we're seeing here. But she's the picture they are showing. She's dressed with her uniform, necktie,
I don't know
nicely.
if I think she was in color clothes when she left. So 07 talking. I think you got called.
Yes, they'll take this call. But the thing here is a little bit scary. You remember the Odell Sherman story?
Indeed.
Good morning.
Good morning, Marka and your colleague in studio.
Yeah.
My name is JB Napoleon Gono from Toulouse Town, Magibe County.
Go ahead, Steve.
Sincerely, I want to address the issue that has to do with the letter on the Musa Hassan Bede wrote. He's my lawmaker. I love all of it. Some of the good works he has done in this country, a contribution, through FM, and so forth. But when it comes to corruption, speaking against corruption, there are people who are supposed to speak against corruption and people understand.
So the issue is your commission the audit of the legislature. Your commission the audit of the legislature.
It should be people who are neutral from corruption. Discussing investigating the rule for issue. You should be talking about how they can discuss or he tell you a FIFA. There are people who want to push the issue of corruption. People who want to say,
okay. Good morning.
Good morning, Marka, and let me say good morning to Johnson and the Labrador people. My name is Fred Joma, and I phoned this morning from District to Mike. This morning I joined this call for the against nuclear election with the slogan that says no to 30 years.
I mean, I think you're only Margibi there, but I don't even understand. Yeah, I don't even know. Margibi people, you say, I don't know. A lot of people say, well, Margibi is a county that is a county of stranger, people may say, because most of the people there are from different counties and all of that. But I was saying that in Margibi there, people went and tested the water in Bonkan, they didn't make it a king Margibi, they became senator. Yeah, just causing over there. That's your thing. I'm not giving ear to it. Margibi, politically, Margibi is a weak county. Margibi don't stand for anything. That means well, God say no to 30 years, say no to that one. You have to develop that county and stop thinking about 2029 election. What I even can know where you. Why are you behaving less basic in Margibi therefore? Y'all leave me with y'all 30 years, say no to 30 years story, man. Good morning.
Good morning, Marka. And so, Marka, thank you so much for hitting this guy that just passed off that just left the phone. McGill had no address in our county, and he became a senator who doesn't.
Margibi, you are looking at free states, anybody can just water and be senator in one corner and be with you.
I am so upset. Guys from my community came and told me that McGill was coming here, was going to talk to them, and wanted me to be there because I'm the chairman of the community. I felt insulted. I told them, you guys go and vote the way you want to vote. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but if you ask me, I will help you out. They went and voted for McGill. This is not my favorite. I don't hit people, but this guy has brought disgrace to our country, and we gave him a chance to stand in that powerful building to represent people who don't even want it. Notwithstanding, Those who voted for him, they got the problems on their hands right now. As they can see, he's doing absolutely nothing. I just wanted to allude to the representability. I just love the idea that Mr. Ability is not leaving this alone. I want to encourage him to continue to talk about this ordinary of the legislature. It is so important. The moment our president pushes that agenda, you will see Liberia will start to turn around on who to vote for and put him in such a powerful position. I thank Mr. Ability. The only thing I don't agree with is the comparison between the legislature being burned, the building that being burned, and compared to those who are supposed to be interviewed or talked to about corruption. My point is, this is a building, an iconic building, a building that Liberia has had for so many decades and represents Liberia also, except we got some of the wrong people there. But he should continue to push. But the comparison over there where you talk about going after corrupt people compared to this one, how this one is moving so fast, this building our Sunday behavior should be attacked and discouraged by finding whoever did it guilty and punished. Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Joseph.
Thank you.
So, Marka, I actually did not have the intention of calling this morning. Well, probably, yes. Well, I will speak to a caller who tried to give a kind of discredit to Billy's communication.
I'll tell you.
So, if you think Billy do not have the moral ground to speak on corrupt issue, then let the government do the right thing. There were people who were sanctioned by the United States. And the Unity Party, when she was in opposition, she championed yesterday. Today, why is the government now calling on America to help them with the premium taxi issue and prosecute these people? Today, these senators are funding budgets, and Joseph Burger is working with the zero budget. Your Joseph Burger is discussing today, once upon a time, was being fired from government for corruption. Did he clear his name? So everything was happening. They do not have the moral ground. Then you and your Unity Party also in the same shoes. Thank you very much.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning. Son of and Baptist Deacon who can I quote scripture or however.
Is he former Sunday school teacher? Is he quote scripture? You rule, eh?
Marka, good morning.
Morning.
It's a pleasure to hear Johnson Gbarntolmah. I remember the wake up Liberia there. Johnson, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Moses Tuasoya. Marka, you spoke on the issue about the case with the legislature. Thank you very much. You see, media, I'm one of those who have high regard for media as a full estate, and at least we can get our voice heard through the media and all of the sacrifices people are doing. But some media entity, I don't know, should they call them guru or untouchable? I'm a follower of Spoon. I listen to Spoon and the case, the way it's being discussed. Who determines the evidence is not substantial?
I see.
It is the judge. It's not you. Okay? The sustainability of the evidence lies squarely in the opinion of the judge, like you said. So thank you for that. But let me say this. My brother for myself, criticize our Senator Nyantwani. But you know, in the book of Esther told the people, you pray for all, we'll go with that. We all will go with now about the meeting. You were advocating in years past for Solway. Solway did not get concession agreement. Now you will meet, you're accusing somebody like Nyantwani or taking money from SPS. Where's the evidence? So when we say you have been given money to talk on the meter, it's about people, it's not about anybody.
Okay, it's about people. Good morning.
Good morning, Marka. And let me say good morning to Johnson. In the studio there with you. This is the voice of local George.
But no, be serious now.
I'm a resident after seminary. Marka, I would like to join you this morning and Musa Kidete and all us well-meaning Liberians. You know the song that Musa Kidete is singing in the legislature that it should be on it. I think that it should be the responsibility of certain lawmakers, because these are the same guys that will come to us and tell us that We should elect them on the basis of integrity. We should elect them on the basis of transparency and accountability. When these statements have been written in black and white in their platform, then when they reach to the point where they should be responsible to all it. I don't think that it should be Musa responsibility that it is not a few handful of lawmakers passing around or singing the song of quality in the legislature. It should be their responsibility. From 2011 up to now, the house haven't been audited. I mean, there is a God give respect to the constitution of the country, and at the same time, God give respect to the people that elected this lawmaker.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, Marka, and good morning to the Liberian people. This is Honorable Milton Yoko. This is 6 Monserrato County next representative. I just want to tell you thank you this morning, especially let me speak on the issue of our own friend Banyan. So the incident that took place with face, like you said, I don't understand why we lay this somewhere for 30, 40 years, and people will put buildings on it. Group of more than 500 horses of money, and somebody will get after 50, 60 years and see the property belong to them, and they go there and break down the modern building. This thing, I think, like, bro, I need to think about another action that they can take for that. You know, and the thing that came for the court. I don't want that, like you said, somebody will call it, just go on Facebook, write anything inside of that. According to the report, you say the only evidence government gets is the people is Facebook posts. Did you go to the investigation? When you there with
But Milton, even by logic, you think the people will go just for preliminary examination, they will go there and go tell the people, say, oh yeah, our evidence. All right.
So journalists cannot come and be ready to kind of be on Facebook. That don't make us to feel that they are not very clear in their analysis, they are being biased. But thank you for always informing our Liberian people and standing for the right thing, my brother. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Yes, the guest is making some adjustment. Let's see this last person. Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Alison Smarton from Sokmo. Yeah, I want to appreciate what you do for the topic on the discussion is. You know, for those divisions that are on social media saying that the government does not have sufficient intellect to persecute those that they are lying. You know, yesterday, if you will listen to the press, the first appearing in court, all of them that one was sharp. The second appearing, the only person who talk it was the former speaker. The other people, they said they don't want to talk, nothing about it. So I don't really know, saying that government only have evidence on social media, this, that, thing. Let me just wait and see. Now, brother Marka, let me not lie to you. Those guys will be able to keep it to the point. Maybe at the end they want to apologize. They will be late for them. Not the big people.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Fred Gbarntolmah. So, Marka, let this go off. Who have more? The government that was pressed that a man in the United States who was accused of corruption and he admitted commissioning of certain water. And you're talking about Mozambique does not have moral ground for your.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. Let's just go strictly to our guest. Like we said this morning, we have with us here now in studio the acting chairman of the Liberia Telecommunications Authority. This morning, Mr. Abdullahi Kamara is here, and we're going to be talking about upcoming policy issues and all of that this morning. So let's try to link up with them this morning. This is the TBS on Truth 96 from FM, the heart and soul of Liberia. This is where national unity begins. Let's see if we can have him on camera. Okay. Yes. So again, the chairman Abdullah Kamara is At the forefront of driving Liberia's digital transformation, under his leadership, the LTA has championed inclusive policy based and innovative regulation that empowers access, growth, and investment in Liberia's telecommunications sector. So, the theme of the expo is showcasing Liberia's digital future. So, yes, let's talk about this morning. It's great to have you this morning, Chief.
Good morning, and I'm happy to be here. Good morning.
Are you getting me?
Yeah, I'm getting you. So,
sorry.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. You getting me now?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. I'm happy to be on your show this morning. I think this is my second time in the studio, and I'm happy to be here to share our vision, our thoughts, and our activities at the LTA.
Yeah. So, generally, how is the LTA?
The LTA, we are moving and sailing smoothly. We are making impact on the society. We are making some really big interventions to ensure that the telecom sector is vibrant, but by large extent to ensure that the consumers get value for money, get high quality service, and get more innovation.
Okay. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the digital export that tell us a bit about that as we go through the conversation.
Well, the Digital Expo is part of our digital transformation program. Nowadays, everything in the world, every sector is touched by technology. And for Liberia, we were behind. I think we are catching up now with our digital transformation programs. And the Expo is an event that will showcase what we are doing and what we intend to do. This is a program not just for the LTA, but for Liberia at large, with some serious interventions that have been done at various levels. This is going to be an annual event. So every year we'll do this event, and to make sure that Liberia digital landscape or Liberia digital interventions, all of the technological interventions are showcased and give also the opportunity, in fact, mainly the opportunity for the young people to see what is possible, to see how they can contribute. And we are creating this, platform for our future generation to also be involved.
What are the main highlights, or what will they be showing the exhibitions at the expo? What will they be showing? What are you trying to show the world?
So there are different things we'll be showcasing. Most of the big tech companies in town will be showcasing their new products, new technologies, things that are in the pipeline. Also, the digital transformation project last year did some interventions that we'll be sharing. This year, we actually pushed to make sure that this could happen at this time. We had a short window of planning, but yet and still the outturn or the expected outturn is quite high, and the interest in the expo is high. So you'll see different kinds of applications. Also, the president will be launching some things that support open government. We'll be launching the presidential dashboard that the president will be using. Even citizens can have access to see all of the government projects around the country in real time, with images, pictures, the contractor, the status, whether it's on course or beyond schedule. You see all of those things on the platform. The president will be able to take decisions based on that. We have another open government platform that helps citizens to get set appointments with various entities in government. And I could go on and on and on, but there are some really innovative things. We also put up an AI competition. We all know what AI is doing right now. But there's a lot of good things that AI does. Sadly, we see the bad ones. So we put up a challenge out there for young people to send in their solutions that addresses local problems, that improve local situations. So we have more than 15 people that are sending their I would say AI solutions, and we'll be giving you some prizes for that.
Okay, during your opening statement, you made mention of this will be done annually in Liberia. Is it that this is the first time to introduce this in Liberia?
Yeah, this is the first time that the telecom sector led event, as like this expo is happening. So we are very excited, and from all indication, tomorrow is going to be grand. We'll open at 10, and the president will come and do what he usually does to launch these great innovations, and he will take a tour of all these different solutions. And for the rest of the day, up to I think 5 p.m., it will be open to the general public. It is free. The entry is free, but please register. If you don't register online, you won't be giving entry to the program. So it's very important for you to do that.
Was there a selection process for those group or organizations or companies that will be showcasing their work at the expo?
Well, LTA is in the sector, so we know all of the institutions that have, the new technologies implementation. So we wrote all of them. We invited all of them to showcase. There were some that were not written, but they joined us later. So we want to give the appreciation to them for showing up. So we have different groups that will be showcasing tomorrow.
In Liberia, the issue of no jobs, or better still, we can say unemployment is a problem. So anytime something is happening, we are looking for the opportunity in it. So what opportunities can you say this expo is bringing in terms of job creation, in terms of skill development? What is that?
Yeah, well, thanks. A very good question. Like I said, if you look at the telecom industry, there's a high investment requirement to run a telecom operation. So what we have done is to identify the different layers in the telecom sector. So the foundational level is the infrastructure that you need millions of dollars to invest. And then you have the application like voice, internet, and so forth. Those are, again, cost intensive. So you don't find Liberians investing or participating in that space. But on top of that, you have all these different apps, like websites, mobile money, payment, different kind of payment, e-commerce, e-agriculture. These are things that I call the upper layer, and you don't need huge investment. You just need some smart people that can put ideas together. So the opportunity will be there if you come. Especially, I encourage students and from universities and senior high school students to come. Please go online, go to the LTA Facebook page, go online, register, come and see which companies are showcasing, get familiarized with the different kinds of solutions, different kinds of technology that young people, even in schools, can do together. All of the big companies that make the internet or technology what it is today, most of them did not, reach to their peak even before they graduated from college. Bill Gates for Microsoft, that you're using PowerPoint, Word, Excel, it was done by somebody that didn't finish college. Facebook, similarly. So I can name different kinds of applications that people were in college and they created these things. So for our young people, this would be a very, very good opportunity to come and see what others are doing. There are a lot of young people, so we'll have a innovation corner or Zoom, I would say, at the event, where young people will be there to showcase the different products.
So talking about registration, is there any cost attached to the registration, online registration?
No, it's free of charge. We try to encourage people to come. So for now, it's free of charge this year. I believe next year will be the same because there is a platform supported by the LTA to make sure we stimulate technological innovation, but also participation by Liberians in our sector.
Is the registration closed now?
No, registration, yeah, for the event is not closed. Only for exhibitors, you have to really call to see whether you can get there.
So maybe someone
But
listening to the show this morning and want to be a part of the expo. So how can they register?
well, if you want to attend to see what the people have, yeah, you go to the LTA Facebook page. There's a link there. You click on it, and you fill up the form. After filling up the form, you will get a QR code. When you come tomorrow, only your QR code will give you entry to the program. So you need to have a QR code tomorrow when you come. Please go on our page, LTA Facebook page, and find a link and register online.
So what are your targeted audience? How many persons are expecting to attend this expo?
We anticipate about 500, I believe. With these interventions that we're doing, we may get up to 1,000 people that will come and visit. We have engaged. We send some letters of invitation to colleges and senior high schools to send delegates as well. So there are some direct contact that we are doing to make sure the event is well attended, and tomorrow is going to be something very interesting and different. The ministerial complex will be outfitted quite differently than you used to.
Yes, that's good. So under the LTA's broader vision, let's look at some of the major wins in digital regulation and transformation. Let's look at that.
Yeah, so last year when we came on, we realized there were so many things that were still pending to be done. So immediately for the past year, what we achieved, it was remarkable. In fact, I think we challenged ourselves so much that it's going to be challenging to meet up with what we did last year. Last year, we led the charge. The president made a speech last year about training 10,000 young people under the same program, which we successfully implemented. We even gave some seed money to some young people to start up small IT companies. Some of them will be on display, by the way. We also came up with the cybersecurity conference that we did last year, giving more awareness. Went throughout the various counties to inform and create awareness. We did a consumer protection regulation last year. We did a vast regulation. A vast regulation will create millionaires in our sector. And this is one of the reasons why we organize this thing. There's a piece of layer. So let me give an example. The petroleum industry is a good example. So you got the upstream and downstream. The upstream is usually the big importers that bring the products to the country. Then you got a distributor that distributes. Then you got a pump where you go and get your gas. That's the last mile. So, and you can imagine the investment on the upper and so when you can imagine the investment from importation up to the Canberra, the investment becomes small, right? Up to Canberra, you don't even need much. You just need to go buy the product, you sell it right and get small. So this is the same thing we want to do with the ICT space. So the infrastructure is here. It's being expanded by Orange and MTN, and LTC is trying, but even though it's challenging. But on top of those infrastructure, we need to have things like payment, ticketing, e-commerce, e-agriculture, people selling their goods way back. People making their farms in the interior, but they can't get their goods to town. and there are different ways you can achieve those efficiency. If you look across all the sectors, from roads to healthcare, education, everywhere, the entire arrest agenda, there is ICT components. So what we're trying to do under this bigger digital transformation program is to make sure that everybody is working in sync and we are working in the same direction, because the ultimate goal is to create a digital society and a digital economy. Even with respect to digital payments, you remove the stress on the cash transaction around the country. Look at how mutilated the dollars is right now. Before, you used to get crispy $50 bills and $20 bills, but nowadays you don't find them. $5 bill, I don't see it at all because it is used more intensively. And if you bring technology into that space, then the expense and the cost of printing money also is eliminated. So there are a lot of good things the technology can bring, but we need our young people to be more aware about the issues we have in our society and how they can participate. And LTA continues to create that level playing field, that environment to do so. Another thing that will be done, are you aware that the numbers that you have is owned by the government of Liberia? Those numbers are
you mean my cell phone number? Okay.
Those numbers are managed by the LTA. Those are resources, just like iron ore and gold. The only thing I can finish.
Okay.
As long as we're getting more human beings, we can create more numbers. So, but those numbers and the numbers also businesses can use it. When you want to do mobile money, that short code you can do, that USSD. Also for the government of Liberia. And the operators been using these things without permission. So we have we have created a new app so people, like again, I talk about Kemba. So Kemba can go straight to the LTA and I say, okay, I want the short code to be able to sell my service. So the young people can create applications and come to the LTA, get the numbers, and then numbers can be processed. Instead of right now when you want to, let's just say 252, so for betting or for voting, all the pageant that can be happening, the children want to do voting. You want to do voting now, you're forced to go to Lone Star first. You make arrangement for that number, then you move from there, you go to Orange. You must be lucky that they have the same number. If not, they give you a different number. So we now taking charge of that. So that application too is an open government kind of stuff.
So if I want to do that now, I can just go straight to the LTA.
Yeah, to the LTA website. In fact, you got to come physically. Okay. You go to the website, you check whether the number is available. When it's available, then you apply to get the number. And then you apply only once and you can go on and network for that.
Okay.
So those are some of the interesting things where we have been working on for the past few months and which we are achieving gradually.
That is good. How is the LTA collaborating with private sector partners to improve infrastructure?
So there's prospects. Both Orange and MTN have expressed intent to invest heavily. When I entered the telecom space 2008 in Liberia, we had combined about 125, maybe 150 towers in the country. Today we're talking about almost, I think 800-900 towers. We have 90% coverage in population centers, 90% coverage, which means that more than 3.5 million people have access to telecommunication service. Actually, we have 4-point-something people, but you got some spaces that are not covered, and some people have double numbers. For data, we have around 68% coverage, which means data is still in those BB cities, but we are getting there. Now, I can tell you, since we came with Starlink, we have 100% coverage when it comes to data. The only problem on Starlink side is expensive yet, but it can go anywhere in the country. You can go and set up.
Are you working out anything to reduce cost?
Well, initially our numbers, our population is not in our favor, but also the model they presenting is quite interesting because when you buy a kit, it's unlimited uh, access that you have, and which means you can all your devices in house you can connect it. So churches, schools, hospitals in all the corner places of Liberia, they can now there is a potential now they can get connected to internet. To bring physical the fiber optic to all throughout the country is very very expensive to do. Even at that, we anticipate in the next 4 or 5 years up to $300 million investment from the private sector. Orange is really leading the charge on that. They're investing heavily in rolling out internet connectivity. MTN is doing similarly, but the skills are different. So there is quite serious interest and serious interventions done by the private sector, and we continue to collaborate. The only thing we're gonna be whipping them to pay the license fees and all of them, but we'll continue to make sure they pay and keep up to date their payments as we create this environment for them to strive and make good business.
Do you want to say anything about the rerouting of the cable around the PHP park? I remember we were there when that started. How far are we with that?
So the project is completed, even though there's still some improvement to be made there, by the way. If you notice, the internet is relatively stable compared to before. In fact, when the people are doing the work at the place, we realized there were more problems, not only on the shore side, but even deeper in the sea.
Okay.
So the connection, our land connecting also further down the sea had additional issue. So they had to address that as well. So we are happy that the system is back up, but there was still interest to improve, so to boost the internet connectivity.
Yes, that work was a little bit controversial. People say, "Oh, we're breaking the people back down."
Let her go see what was done. Sadly, everything in Liberia is politics.
Yeah.
I am not a politician. I'm a technician.
Yeah.
We are here to do the people's work. There was never a point where, in fact, that thing was never really threatened. It was not even considered for removal in our engagement. It was only the conversation that some people thought the work construction that was going on was intended for that purpose. Sadly, that was not our intent. Luckily, it was not our intent.
Okay. Well, if you're just joining us, we're in conversation with the head of LTA, Mr. Abdullah Kamara, here this morning, talking about the expo. The expo is when? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow is the expo, so come.
At the ministerial complex?
Yeah, you have never seen something like this before in Liberia, so come and experience it.
Okay, so can schools in the universities and community group attend as a group?
Yes, they can, but please, we beg you, we got a technology event. We want to make everything techie. So go online, do your registration, get your QR code, then you come with scan it, because all that thing will give some ideas about, hey, what is the interest? What is the category of people that are coming in? What is the age grouping? We also want to capture that so we can be able to take some very important decision about the sector. And then we'll have also feedback mechanism that people can give feedback about the event.
Yes, so sincerely, we are sorry that our guests did not come as early as expected. So we're just, yes.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Well, I think most of the message was given.
Yeah.
If I can give a wrap up, first of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Yes, you can do that.
Our event tomorrow is the first of its kind at the scale that we are doing it. We have invited the most important contributor to the technology landscape of Orange, MTN, Momo, Orange Money, Moetana, EPI, LDTP, my Washman, Rovia, Communication. So a lot of them would be there. Then we'll have some newcomers, some innovative solutions that will be there. The smart village concept will be available. Solar, the new solar digital solar panels.
Yeah.
So different things will be available tomorrow. Virtual reality also, and then of course the government segment with all these government solutions. Then what else? I think most of these things will be on display tomorrow. So we encourage you to come and be a part of it.
Starting at?
It starts at 10. The official program will be at 10. That will be mainly for VIPs.
Okay.
And special invitees, the plenary program. And then thereafter, the walk-in. That means you can go there and be, viewing and seeing all of the things on display at the program. So 11 o'clock will be open to the public.
Okay. Chief, thank you so much for coming.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay. Yes, he is the head of LTA, Mr. Abdullah Kamara. They're talking about the expo happening tomorrow at the ministerial complex in Congo Town, Monrovia. Yes, let's take a break to bring on the LRA people here this morning to talk about real property tax. Real property tax, yes.
I'm living life to the max. But well, you living life in a Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in a respectful manner, we'll keep your plate alone.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Some news summary at 12. My name is Hansen Delta present.
Welcome to news and analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life that what you see. I live a different life. When I was not president, this life that what I live. With my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Roads, connecting roads in this country.
Yeah, we are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Ria TV and listening to Truth FM 96.1.
I wanna hear me say, Papa, this girl, you wanna say it's not the same. So one more time, before I understand. We all get children going to school. I get in the books, yeah. Let it be great, no noise, no noise. I never see no peaceful protest in this land before. Even my papa, my mama tell me it never before.
Yeah, so again, welcome back to the TVS on Truth 96 from the heart and soul of Liberia. Like we mentioned in our lineup this morning, we have with us Mr. Isaac B. Stevens, the Assistant Commissioner Taxpayer Services Division, Liberia Revenue Authority, and Victor Sier, Senior Officer, Real Property Tax Division, LRA. They are here this morning. We'll be talking about a real property tax payment. Yes, real property tax payment we'll be talking about this morning, and we have other stations relaying this morning. I'm not seeing this chat too clearly. Yes, but yeah, let's start the conversation, and then we will later on get to that. So let me say good morning. It's great to have you this morning. I know time is of issue. Good morning, boss.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
Well, I'm great. We'll tell God thank you.
Nice being with you this morning. We say good morning to the citizens of the area.
Yes, Victor, how are you?
Marka, good morning. I'm okay. And you?
Yes, I think I'm trying.
They try.
How's the LRA?
Well, LRA is live and well. As you know, we have a mandate to collect lawful revenue for the people, the government, and people of Liberia. That mandate very seriously. Every day we wake up, we go to work and do our very best give of our time, our services, and of our capacity and to our country in the form of revenue collection to enforce the tax laws of Liberia. And it is that reason why we are here this morning, to ensure that our citizens have the information that they need in order to be tax compliant.
Yes, I know anytime we see you here,
So what you trying to say? I don't care about anything but taxes.
Yeah, that tax business. But yes, what is real property tax again? Some people are just joining the conversation. I know others may know, but Ali, teach the people what is real property tax. Is it tax you pay on house, on land? What is it?
Real property tax is a tax that is paid on real properties that are located within the borders of Liberia. I think the next question that we follow is then what is real property?
Yes.
So real property, we have three broad categories when we talk about real property. In fact, let's deal with the first two first. We have property that are located in urban areas and property that are located in rural areas. We also have what we call land and or building. So these are the two major categories when we talk about real property: land and or building. When we talk about buildings, we are talking primarily of commercial, industrial, which is the same commercial, industrial, and then we are also talking about residential. And when we're talking about land, we are talking about land that are located in rural area and land that are located in urban area. Those are the two broad categories. And then we can even narrow down when we come to, like we said, buildings. Again, we are talking about commercial, we are talking about industrial, we are talking about residential, and then we have the land. And we're talking about land, we are talking about land in rural area and land in urban area. Okay, so we will give you the big category. Normally at LRA, we mostly deal with commercial, and commercial is 1.5% of the current market value of the property. In other words, we take 1.5% and multiply by the value of the property for commercial buildings. And for industrial building, it's the same thing, 1.5% of the current market value of the property. So, and then we come to residential. Residential is 0.25%. That's 1/4% of the current market value of the property. And then we go to land. We have time lot, city or time lot is 3.5%. If it is an acre or less, but when it is above 1 or more acre is 4.5. So those are the rate, but there are other subcategories that we deal with in terms of farm in urban areas, 0.35, farm outside urban areas, we have 0.25, but primarily the major ones that we deal with are LRA, the residential, the commercial, the industrial, and city and time lots. All right, residential property is where you live, you and or your family, without any thought of making money from the property. That means there's no profit motive, there's no intent to rent any part of that building or lease any part of that building, or even use any part of that building to for commercial purposes. Right? You only live there with you live there, or you and your family or friends live there. There's no intent to make money out of that property. That's pure residential. The moment you start to use that property, like to say, let me open a shop on it, or let me rent one room, it automatically turns into commercial. And then we have commercial itself. That's where you, like we have apartment buildings, we have hotels, and then we have stores, we have shop. That's what we call commercial. Again, it has a profit motive attached. You are using that property to earn income, to earn money. The same thing with industrial. This is where goods or services are perhaps produced and sold to the public. Yeah, that's industrial, like beer factory, Coca-Cola factory. Absolutely, yeah, mineral water factory, those are industrial, and the rate is 1.5%, just as with commercial is 1.5%, residential is 0.25%. That's commercial. Yes. But it's the same foundation. You don't have a different foundation, and it is the same land, and it's built on it's the same land. The land is not separate. The foundation is not separate, so it's considered commercial. That's one building.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot to provide to the public. First, we from the real estate tax division, we've been working on series of project activities, and then I would like to inform taxpayers that in the real estate tax category that the current period that runs from January to June, I would like to advise them to pay the taxes, because most of them know we have the color period where they pay penalty and interest after the current deadline. So we still have a few more weeks to the deadline for July 1 for current tax payment. And real estate tax is annual tax. We collect your annual tax from property owners who are in the commercial category and the industrial category as well. And also those who are in voluntary compliance with the residential property. So earlier on, I listened to my boss. He provided two classifications of the different types of property, commercial property and then the residential property. So, but what we focus on sometimes, where we get most of our tax income from in terms of real property taxation is residential, commercial, and industrial property. So we enforce on that. I'm from the enforcement section. And right now, we are sending out information to taxpayers. The deadline is approaching, July 1. Come to the LRA, to your payment to any central bank window, so that you be compliant with your current tax application. Because from July 1 to December, late payment comes with penalty and interest. So, and then let's go to your question. The tax amount on the property is derived from the tax, the value of the property. So it's determined. So two things. Well, let me draw you through. So if you own a land, currently if you buy a land, Marka bought a land, maybe like you're measuring, you bought a land 1,005, and then the law says if you come to the LRA or declare within 30 days. So the value of that land is 1,005. For the rate on a lot is 3.5%. Acre and above is 4.5%. So let's assume you have a lot, right? The rate is 3.5. So the 3.5 times the 1,500 give you a tax amount. So that amount is what you pay annually to the LRA as your tax obligation. Now, let's go to properties that are, structures, right? So you have the right to go to an independent firm to appraise your property. So you know how much you put in the property, so you go to a firm, they come to do the appraisal, the current market value of the land, the things you use, the payment of whatever operation, and the amount to a number, right? And that place within the appraisal, booklet is presented to the LRA. The value on that document is what the LRA is going to use. So let's say you build a residential house for 25,000, and they appraise the property at 25,000. That residential property, the rate is 0.25%. So we do a little math. So 0.25% times 100 divide by, times 100 times, divide by 100 times the value of the 25,000, you have your tax amount. So it's just easy. Let's say 20,000, right? So you take 20,000, you do 0.25%. Sometimes the minimum is $50. So $50 divided by 6 months. Most people are not, informed. That's what we come on the radio to inform them. So you have $50 divided by 6 months. That's minimum to pay. But sometimes people, with that come, sometimes we have to go after them, provide the awareness, create, a town hall discussion, a forum to provide, interaction with the taxpayers. So the taxes on that is minimum. Now, commercial properties are the one we go after, because they attract monetary value. So most time we enforce on them. And the rate on that, like but Chief said, is 1.5%. So most of the time we take 100,000 property, and the tax amount on that is 1,500 annually. So that's how you derive your tax amount.
Yeah, let me just add a little bit to what Victor just went through. We need to understand that we enforce on all property kind, not just the commercial or industrial, but even residential. In Liberia, the object of our taxation is the property. Okay, so while it's true that they may enforce a little bit more on commercial or industrial, the law does not provide that we only enforce on commercial or industrial. Enforcement or tax compliance has to be across the board for every property kind or tax kind. So we involve all residential, as well. I think what he was trying to say was that sometimes we put a lot of our resources, where we can get the greatest value, and that's normal in every tax administration. You want to put a lot of your resources, a lot of your manpower, a lot of your logistics where you can get the greatest resources. But we enforce on every tax kind, especially real property tax kind, the subject of our conversation this morning, whether it's commercial, whether it's residential, whether it's industrial, because I don't want people to, to think that, we are going to go after commercial and industrial, but so is residential as well.
Yeah, the current period. Yeah, the current period. So normally we start to issue bills from January, we print December the year before, and then we issue bill to taxpayers, and then we do monitoring on them, we reach out to them. So we have Maserati and other part of the country that we divided into zones, assignment areas. So we send our enforcement staff out there. Like I said, John Morovia will have a team assigned there, and they have assignment letters to verify payments to distribute bills. and enforce on taxpayers who are delinquent. So the current period will issue bill to you. It starts from the January of the current year, and it runs to July 1. So yes, so you have a current period that you pay all penalty and interest. So issue the bill in January, will make follow up, subsequent months, to find out, to remind you of your tax application. So there are people who pay within the time period, and there are people who also pay after the current period elapsed. So so sometimes people have money, and then the delay to pay, sometimes generate the taxes maybe twice a year from from the tenant. So they pay after the period elapsed. So once you pay after the period elapsed, that comes with penalty and interest. So we always advise the taxpayer to be current with the tax application from the beginning of the year to July 1.
Okay, from the beginning of the year to July 1. So we are closing in on the deadline. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So the next thing we would like to talk about is the processes for withholding on both residential and commercial properties. What are they?
So it begins with the generation of TIN, what we call tax identification number. So assuming that you are not already in our system, that is, you have not registered your property and that you are not paying taxes at all. The process begins with you coming to LRA, filling up a very short form. We will generate for you a tax identification number. This is a number unique to you and nobody else. You are not to share with anyone, but it's just unique to you. You are the only one that have this number in the Republic of Liberia. What you need to generate, for us to generate this TIN number for you, we will need the bow page of your passport, if you have a passport, or your national ID card. You bring the bow page of your passport, not both of them, or your national ID card, and then a passport size photo. We will generate the TIN number for you, and then we will use the TIN number now to register your property. So when you are coming, you need to bring along your deed to register your property. You will need to bring along your deed and your tax identification number. We will register your property, whether it's commercial, whether it's industrial, or whether it's residential. For residential, the law provides that the property owner will give us, the best value, in other words, the current market value, what that property will sold for today on an open market. What will you be willing to sell that property today if you were to sell it to somebody who wants to buy the property or a willing buyer? For commercial and residential, the law says you should engage or contact an engineer or an architect to come and do a valuation of the property, and you submit that valuation along with your tax identification number, to the real estate division, and then they will register you to pay your property. Again, if it is commercial or residential, you need to engage the services of an architect or engineer. You can also work with the real estate tax division. They have a valuation section there. You can rate them and ask that they assist you in valuing your property.
You pay them?
No, normally there's no attached to that. Okay. You just need to write and facilitate, the process, then coming to, your place to do the valuation. And then you can sit and discuss the valuation with the real estate division to make sure that this is a joint effort and that we all agree with the value, and they will register your property. But the process begins with generating a TIN number if you are not already in our system.
Okay, so what are the payment methods for paying real property tax?
There are various payment methods that we have at LRA to facilitate the payment of your property taxes. So once you have registered your property and you are paying taxes, you can do it one of these many ways. Number one, you can pay in cash. But to pay in cash, it has to be less than 250 United States dollars. If your payment, your tax obligation is less than 250 Liberian dollar, you can pay in cash right at the bank. If it is more than that, you can pay through manager's check. That means you go to the bank, your bank of choice, or wherever your account is,
you present your payment documents to the bank teller and tell them you want to pay your property taxes. They will look at that document, they will put you in, bring you up on the system, and they will transfer your payment directly to the general revenue account of the government of Liberia. So that's what we call manager's check. You can also use direct transfer. It works. I mean, the manager's check is what you use. They can do a check for you, and then you can pay your taxes. The direct transfer is where you submit your documents to the bank, and they will transfer your payment from your account directly to the general revenue account. You can also use mobile money to pay your property taxes, as well as we now have the POS and Visa debit cards. You can also use that to pay your property taxes.
Yeah, so Marka, I wanted to talk on the need for the valuation.
Okay.
So like Mr. Stevens said, the property owner has the right to go to an independent firm to do the appraisal, right?
Yeah.
Many a times we notice taxpayers undervalue the property. So
Okay.
the LRA reserve the right to do joint verification. So you go to a firm and they do the appraisal of the property, you bring it to us. We also have the right to go on a fee to jointly do that same appraisal. Sometimes the value varies. So we advise when you do it, your appraisal, sometimes you contact the LRA, the Real Estate Tax Division in the valuation section, so that we have staff there to see what you are doing. Or sometimes if you just go and just do it on your own and you bring that value to us, sometimes we accept because we have to go there, we see it. Sometimes the value is the same, but most time, we have to do, sometimes we add the value because sometimes taxpayer, the owner declare. So owner declaration in taxation for us is a crime because you are cheating the government, you are cheating other people who are paying the fair share of taxes. So we go there and then we do joint verification along with you. We do all the appraisal together. And we all derive at a fair value that both the taxpayer and LRA will be comfortable with.
Yeah. So what programs do you have in place to enhance real property tax payment across the country?
Yes. So we've been working on quick impact projects along with our partners. We've been doing OP Street mapping in other counties. We work along with the USAID LEAD project to do OP Street mapping where we're capturing properties in Maigibi, Grand Bassa. And we also have a project that is still on hold with the Ministry of Post and Telecommunication to do the national address system.
Okay.
Yes. And
that one is important.
Yeah, very important. So that project is also ongoing. We're developing the work plan. And we're also working along with the PPC, the PCC, and the Baba City Corporation, because there are two big cities, and we're here in Painesville. We have a lot of properties in Painesville, so we have developed all of the implementation plan. And on the local government act, we trying to identify the provision that give right to those cities, and then the superintendent office. So my boss is working on that along with the administration. So we also currently have the last one. We working along with a group of partners where we decide to locate different the land authority. The land authority because most of the valuation aspect we talk about now, the land authority has that administrative power to do valuation of all lands within the country. So we have now developed the TOR. And we're going to be working in 9 counties and 6 cities where we're going to be capturing properties and with the land cadastre also. So we have a lot to do with real estate. Where I come from the Real Estate Tax Division. So we have a lot to do. We also have a challenge with manpower to cover the entire country. So that's why we are partnering with other government entity to capture properties across the country.
Yeah. Let me just add a little bit. I think that generally we're saying that we want to expand real estate taxation in the counties, right? Because we say Mosharado is not Liberia, so the property taxation goes across the country. We are administering taxation throughout the length and breadth of this country. So consistent with the Local Government Act, which provides that property taxes generated from within the counties are to be shared with government. I think the goal here is to ensure that we can link property taxation to development, that we can link property taxation to development, especially in the counties. And this provides incentive, real true incentive, a live incentive, an incentive that the local government can touch. You know, they can touch their, the water, they can touch and feel something that is done locally from the taxes that they pay. That's the goal of our expansion, consistent with the local government act. So we are working in these 2 counties for now, but the goal is to expand throughout the length and breadth of Liberia, where taxes generated, especially property taxes generated from within the counties, are shared with government. Okay, and whatever the share is, I think it's around 50-50 initially. I'm not sure, there may always be an adjustment to that, but that's the goal of our real property tax expansion. And so we are working with local governments around the country to make sure that we can begin to make progress with respect to that, consistent with the local government act. So we are encouraging everyone, no matter where you are in Liberia, to pay your property taxes, because there are incentives, now for paying property taxes, especially from a local government, because you share in the revenue to bring development back to your localities. Well, yeah, every year we organize a tax appreciation week. The goal is to honor our patriotic citizens and residents throughout the length and breadth of our country who have committed themselves to fulfilling their solemn duty, to their country in terms of the payment of their taxes. And so we come together as a nation every year to honor them, because, taxes are the foundation of every nation around the world. Without taxation, and without citizens committing to pay their taxes, again, I say it repeatedly, we would never aspire to our greatest dreams, hope, and aspiration as a nation. So that particular week, and we will be doing it again this year, that particular week is set aside every year to honor our committed and patriotic taxpayer for their commitment and love for their country.
Okay, yeah, that's good. I was just about to talk something before that. So let me just quickly talk about those who are building residential properties, right? So they build 2-3 compounds, for dwelling, right? And then they lease the properties out to people, and they are not paying taxes on it. That's commercial property, because the classification change. Once you rent your property out, and then the tenant are paying by law, your obligation, you should be paying your real estate tax. And on that property, you attract 2 tax kinds. You attract the real property tax and the withholding on tax. The withholding taxes, the 10%. So most time, tenant and landlord are in conflict with the law. Sometimes the tenant want to withhold the 10%, and the landlord without want to rent the place to you. So most time they don't pay that tax. So I'm saying this now because we will have our enforcer on the field to go after all of the properties that communities that that they are rented out to people, and they are paying the taxes on it. So we are encouraging all those who have properties that they have now built as residential homes, but they are renting it out, to come out and declare as commercial property. Now your question is what happens when people fail to pay tax? That's in itself is it's cheating you. It's almost you are not being law-abiding citizen. You are cheating the system. So most time, let's take for example commercial properties that are not paying taxes, right? We issue you 30 days. It's not sometimes, but by procedure, by our own internal review process. We issue you 30-day notice, and we invite your LRA to give a reason why you are not paying. And that 30-day notice is asking, probably if you have some shortcoming with your business, if you have some financial issue, and they invite you to come to settle, with LRA. Probably you can request an installment payment where you can say, okay, I'll pay 25%, but they lost it 25 to 40% of what you owe. and then we can do, a stipulation plan for you. But if you refuse to come, we also issue you 72-hour closure notice. After the 72-hour closure notice, we do what we call the process of, we send you to our legal department, and our legal department forward you to the court for closure. The court is the one that closes. So no commercial property will want to be closed because you have bad, image, out there. So most time we invite the taxpayer to, before we reach, the issue of closure, we have dialogue with you. You have to pay some of the money that you owe, and then we are flexible because our intent is not to close the property. Our intent to have the property open, so you pay more taxes so that at least we contribute, we collect more money, and then we generate more money for government. So if you fail to pay, we forward you to court. The court, along with the LRA, the court sometimes send the sheriff. And I've been there. I've seen most property closed, and they will be embarrassed, and the next day they'll come with check to pay. So we don't want you to reach that level because actually we will close the property. It's not our intent to do that.
Seconds. Bunny. Okay. Morning.
Go ahead, you're live.
Okay. I want to ask your senior guest there, let him please explain that 10% issue clear to us because it's really giving us hard time here. So I want you to make that place clear for us. I beg you, please.
Okay, 10%. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, man, that radio.
Sorry, again, go back.
0770202579 0770202579. Please, I always say this, every interview has a reason and a target. There's a message you're trying to send out there. When people come, we interview them about specific issue. You will jump from there and go to your 1990 corruption business. I'll let this thing. Yeah, let's discuss the issue at hand. We're talking about the process of paying real property tax and all of that. Then you come by and say, oh, when they collect the money, that 3% can eat it. How that won't? Yeah. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, is this Truth FM?
You are live. Go ahead. This is Truth FM.
Oh, okay. My name is Mohammed Sharif, And I'm so much excited to hear that they are explaining about the tax issue, the real estate tax issue. There are a couple of questions and concerns that I have. One, the cost of the rate at which the vacant land is then taxed. I would like to know that from different from that of the property that is existing. So, I would like to just make a little comment on the line of why many people are not paying the real estate tax. And I look at the real estate tax for me as an area of where government can really generate money from. For example, if our own government decide, look, because a lot of people, you go to them for taxes, they say, you know what, I'm not working, I'm not able to pay the tax. But let us look at, if you take, for example, I was just taking a statistic around my community. You get about almost 100 houses. They are all, many of them are not paying. And you come, you say, you know what, I see to it that let us make it as a kind of flat rate and start a new page and say, you know what, this house of this tenure of 3 rooms, as long as residential in this kind of community, you pay something like maybe about $30 a month, let me say yearly. And you ensure that I just took it like that 100 houses in a year time that I have not been paying for the past so many years. If you're collecting that amount of money from there every year, you're generating money. One, do education. Then the second one I had to do with a lot of the graduates that come from the University of Liberia, they don't have any work experience. The LRA can tap into those young graduates and then be able to train them to go into community and be able to enforce and educate the people in order for them to be able to pay their rent. Some people are not there because it's that lack of education. Some people now, they are busy looking for food, they're not even listening to this radio. But people need to go one-on-one, like the way lectures can do at some point in time. When it comes to vaccines and other things, they go to community and then encourage people to go. So these are just some of the things I just wanted to share while you are.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Samuel Gowe. I don't know whether the name is correct. Has been on the line for long. Good morning. Yes, tell us the name.
You got it right. I'm P. Samuel Gowe.
Okay.
Yeah, I have 2 concerns quickly on the issue of that tax.
Mm-hmm.
The first concern is the rationale of taxing, increasing the tax on developed property, the property that are undeveloped. You know, the tax only is so high as compared to the developed property.
Yeah, we're forcing you to develop it.
And then the second issue is
Mm-hmm.
The issue of residential property, even for commercial, those who making profit out of the business or of property, I think it can easily collect taxes on them as compared to somebody who built their house when they were working, and the woman is living in a house and is no longer working. So you will find it difficult to pay that 0.25%. Now, then labor. So I think if look at that, let's deal with those to a minimum level. That even if I'm not working, I'll be able to afford it.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. You're the last caller. So the people are complaining about their time already. Today is 10 o'clock. So let's give them 5 minutes to respond to the callers and all of that. Yes. Chief, NIA. Okay. Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to know why they should pay taxes on the vacant land. All right. As we always say, we administer taxation. We do not make law. Okay. All of our tax law in our country are promulgated by the legislature. This is why you pay taxes on land, because the law says you have to pay taxes both on undeveloped, right, and underdeveloped land. Okay, all developed land. That's why the law says you got to pay taxes on all these classes of property. Then somebody talk about the tax. Why do they pay 10% and also pay the property tax? The 10% is what we call rental income. But generally, though, you have tax obligation in Liberia when you earn income. That's number one. You also have tax obligation when you purchase goods or services. That's number two. You have tax obligation when you own property. That is the focus of our discussion this morning, which is owning a property. The law says if you own property in Liberia, you have to pay taxes on that property. And we clearly defined property earlier. When we say property includes land and or building, this is why you are paying the property. But the tax percent is not actually the property tax is paid by the owner of the property. All right. The property tax is paid by owners of real property. Real property taxes are paid by the owner of real property. That's the one we talk about where it is value and we apply the tax rate based on the category of that property. The 10% is what we call rented income tax. So that's an income tax. You remember we said you have tax obligation when you earn income. So that particular 10% is assessed on the income that is derived from renting that property or from leasing that property. What our law says is if you are leasing a property from a property owner, let's assume the lease is 1,000 United States dollar a whole year. The law says there's a 10% on that income, on that lease income or rental income of 10%. That means $100. That $100 is to be withheld, okay, by the person who is leasing the property. You withhold that $100 and give the property owner the $900. That $100 is supposed to be paid in the name of the property owner as a rental income. So there's two separate taxes here. One is rental income tax and the other one is property tax. Then somebody said that they wanted to know the rate on empty lot. The rate on empty lots is 3.5% of the value of that lot. So for example, if you bought that lot for let's say $2,000, let's assume this year, right? That can be considered as the current market value. If you multiply that 2,000 by 3.5%, you'll be paying $70 for the year for that one lot. That costs you $2,000, which is considered the current market value. Somebody was making a recommendation with flat rate. We are always trying to reform our tax system in our country, and we are willing to work with the legislature to even look at that as well. So we will consider your suggestion. We will forward it to relevant institution, to our Commissioner General, that, you know, we were on the air and we got this suggestion about flat rate. We think it's something to look at. That's what it used to be before, but it was abused at some point in time in our nation's history when people started, you know, beating people, tying them and laying them in the sun. They used to call it hot tax, you know, where taxes were assessed a flat rate. And so they deviated from that for some time and promulgated law that we are administering at this point in time. But that's something that we can take a look at. So we thank you for your suggestion. And then also somebody talk about taxation on underdeveloped land. The reason why you are taxed for underdeveloped land, I think you, the moderator said it quite correctly. We want you to develop the land. Okay, nobody want you go around this country. Many of our neighborhoods are dilapidated because people bought land and they have not developed the land. You know, there's a lot of grass growing on the land, roaches, mites, whatever you think you can think of. So even people who build their nice home around these empty lots, they cannot enjoy, they cannot sit on the porch and enjoy fresh air because you have not developed your land. So government say when you develop your land, we will give you a lower rate, especially if it is residential. But if you don't develop it and it become a nuisance to the society or even the community, we will continue to assess you taxes to encourage you to develop the land. That is why you pay for an empty lot as well, or you say undeveloped land.
So you guys give our 10 minutes. So anyway, he touched on everything, so I'm not going to do that. Aside from that, let me give this information to the public. We are encouraging those who have properties, you know, that have not been paying taxes to come to the LRA and do voluntary compliance, because that way, you know, we can capture you and you have some dispensation where we give you maybe just to enter the system, we give you 1 year. Other than that, if we go after the property, you know, the law says LRA also gave you some, you know, some leverage to property owners. So it may take 5 years, but now if you come, we're going to give you 1 year, and that would be. So I also encourage Mr. Sheriff. His idea is good. I would like to meet with him probably you could come to the LRA, the real estate tax division, so that we can look at those very brilliant ideas that he mentioned. We take note of that. And to our property taxpayers who are delinquent taxpayers, take advantage of the current window, come at the LRA and pay. Do not wait for a delinquent period where we'll be going through difficulties with you, and then it send you to court for closure. Please come and pay your real estate tax, and then at least be free of the tax and wait for next year. So I want to thank you, Marka and Johnson, for the interview. Chief, will just close up on that.
All right. So just to close out, I will give you information. If you have any question, you need additional information or clarifications regarding our discussion here today on real property tax, please call 0770-572-572, 0770-572-572. You can also go on our website, www.lra.gov.lr or info@lra.gov.lr, and you will find information related to real property tax. As a matter of fact, on our website, you will find a real property tax calculator. All right. All you have to do is to put your property classification. That means what kind of property you having, or you have. I'm sorry, what kind of property you have. And then what the value is, especially for residential, you put the information in, it will calculate it for you. So before you even come to the LRA, you already know what your tax obligation is. So for my closing comment, let me say, I will talk from a broader perspective, not just from real property tax this morning. If you have any tax obligation in this country, it is incumbent on you to commit yourself to paying your fair share of taxes for the development of our country. And again, you inquire tax obligation when you earn income. If you are earning income, just know that you have a tax obligation. If you are purchasing goods or services, you have a tax obligation. If you own property or asset within our country, you also have a property tax obligation. Let us pay our solemn duty to our country by just paying our fair share of taxes for the development of our country, and we can then hold our country leadership responsible for the things that they're supposed to do with our money. But we come quick to talk about corruption, but we are not really quick to talk about how we should pay our share of taxes to our country. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. They're from the LRA, Mr. Azebi Stevens, Assistant Commissioner for Taxpayer Services Division, and also Victor C.A., Senior Officer, Real Property Tax Division, Liberia Revenue Authority. Yes, this is how we love to go home. But before we do this, before we leave you, let's do this again. We understand a young Liberian girl is reported missing. Where's the information? Is reported missing, and we want to, yes, this is the information. Her name is Inja A. Dewey, a student of African Dream Academy. She's reported missing. She left her house after the climax of wax on Tuesday, June 10, and is yet to be seen. Yes.
Wow, that's very troubling. And it's trending right now on Facebook.
Her picture is here.
Yeah.
So anybody know, sometimes something that can happen too. Maybe she want to go visit somebody, she go now, she's scared to come back home. Or it could be.
So anybody know her whereabouts?
Yeah, please
contact the parents at least.
After the national exam now, the thing why you now used to do that, you want to try.
No, you are going into the world.
Yeah, so you want to go try. So that's not the thing. We're hoping that is the case.
Yes.
Yeah, it should not be otherwise. We're hoping this is the case. So anybody knowing the whereabouts of little Inja A. Dewey, a student of the African Dream Academy, can please call the family on 0770 039 446, 0777 580 591, or better still 0779 432456.
And let me say happy birthday to Josephus Betty. He is celebrating his birthday on today. So Josephus, happy birthday from our end.
Okay, happy birthday, Josephus. We are going home now. We'll see you tomorrow.